by stealing from the public coffers to stop and allow development to take root. Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you.
Honorable Senators, I have this communication to make. I would wish to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon, visiting teachers and students from Kalonzo High School in Kitui County. The delegation consists of 2 teachers and 53 students. In our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. I will call upon the Senator for Kitui County to welcome the delegation.
I thank you, the Speaker, for granting me this opportunity to join you and my colleagues to welcome the visiting delegation comprising of 2 teachers and students from Kalonzo High School in Kitui. It's actually a school situated in Mwingi Central constituency, which is part of Kitui County. Mr. Speaker, I take this opportunity to encourage the students and their teachers to continue working hard and smart to ensure that, Mr. Speaker, the values that have been so well espoused by the Senator for Busia and begin to take root even from our own classrooms. That a thriving democracy is important for development to take root in this country, and that the new name for peace is development. And Mr. Speaker, the students will commit themselves to take their studies a lot more seriously, to aspire for greatness, including some of them aspiring to be the Senator of Kitui in the near future. Mr. Speaker, I thank the administration of the school for choosing to bring the students into the August House, the upper house of the Parliament of the Republic of Kenya, the Senate, and I hope that their stay in the interaction with the proceedings of the Senate meets the expectations, and that as they prepare to go back home, they will go back home better equipped, better motivated, and that they will be good ambassadors of the Senate and the work that goes on in the Senate. The Speaker, with those many remarks, I join you and my colleagues in welcoming the delegation. I thank you.
Senator, kindly take your seat. Now, honorable senators, this is the communication that the majority leader was seeking earlier on. Now, this communication relates to the series of allegations that have been circulating in the media concerning the operations of certain committees of the Senate, specifically the County Public Accounts Committee and the County Public Investment and Special Funds Committees. As honorable senators may be aware, this matter began on Monday, 9th of February 2026 with a press statement issued by the Council of Governors purportedly demanding for the reconstitution of the County Public Accounts Committee on the basis of claims of political witch hunts, harassment, extortion, and intimidation, allegedly involving 4 unnamed members of the committee. A position was taken by the Council of Governors to suspend appearances before the County Public Accounts Committee until a structured engagement is held between its leadership and that of the Senate, and to limit appearances before the County Public Investment and Special Funds Committee to once per audit cycle. Subsequently, in a press statement, which I issued on Tuesday, 10th of February 2026, I reiterated the Senate's oversight role over the county governments and its firm anchorage in the Constitution. Honorable Senators, as you are aware, Article 96(3) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 provides that the Senate determines the allocation of national revenue among counties as provided in Article 217 and exercises oversight over national revenue allocated to county governments. Further, Article 96(1) states that the Senate represents the counties and serves to protect the interests of the counties and their governments. I further reiterated that in executing its mandate, the Senate audit committees are guided by Article 229 of the Constitution, which requires Parliament to consider and dispose of audit reports within 3 months of their receipt from the Auditor General by 31st of March of each year. Compliance with this constitutional timeline is not optional, and any actions that impede the audit process undermine accountability and prudent use of public resources. I have emphasized that the Senate remains committed to fulfilling its constitutional mandate and ensuring that oversight over public funds allocated to county governments remains robust, objective, and timely, and inform the Council of Governors that should the Council have concerns regarding the conduct or operations of Senate committees, established and legitimate institutional channels exist through which such concerns may be formally raised and addressed, noting that while the Senate remains open to structured and constructive dialogue with devolution actors, recourse to public mudslinging and unsubstantiated allegations in the media and supported by evidence is neither appropriate nor conducive to intergovernmental cooperation. Now, Honorable Senators, subsequently, my office has received 2 letters, reference COG/6/10, volume 13, into brackets 84, dated the 9th of February 2026, and reference COG/6/10, volume 13, into brackets 85, dated 11th of February 2026. The purpose of the 2 letters from the Council of Governors is stated as being, 1, to bring to my attention that the Council of Governors' concerns and resolutions on the matter of appearances by governors before the County Public Accounts Committee and the County Public Investment and Special Funds Committee, and 2, to request for an engagement with the leadership of the Senate at the earliest opportunity to address the concerns raised with a view to developing an engagement framework with the 2 committees. In the letters, the Council of Governors further communicates the resolutions of the Council, being 1, governors shall with immediate effect not appear before CPAC until the concerns raised about the committee are adequately and conclusively addressed. And secondly, 4 senators whom were named be removed from the affected committees as a prerequisite to restoring confidence, integrity, and fairness in the oversight process. Honorable Senators, as you're aware, Article 125 of the Constitution provides as follows. Either House of Parliament and any of its committees has power to summon any person to appear before it for the purpose of giving evidence or providing information. 2, for purposes of Clause 1, a House of Parliament and any of its committees has the same powers as the High Court to enforce the attendance of witnesses and examine them on oath, affirmation, or otherwise. B, to compel the production of documents, and C, to issue a commission or request to examine witnesses abroad. As you're further aware, pursuant to Article 96 of the Constitution, the Senate represents counties, serves to protect the interests of the counties and their governments, and exercises oversight over national revenue allocated to county governments. Honorable Senators, the thrust of the foregoing provisions, and indeed the totality of the constitutional architecture, is to vest in the legislature the power and mandate to exercise oversight over all state organs and state officers in the performance of their constitutional and statutory functions. No organ, authority, or person, not least the Senate, has the power to suspend, compromise, vary, or waive the legislature's mandates. Consequently, the resolution by the Council of Governors that governors will not appear before CPAC until the concerns raised in their letters are addressed through a structured engagement between the leadership of the Senate and the Council of Governors is untenable. Equally, the resolution by the Council of Governors that governors will only appear once for every audit cycle to respond to any queries before CPAC comprehensively is also untenable. The constitutional oversight mandate is exercised by the Senate as often as whenever the Senate, in its judgment, considers appropriate, and any purported restriction or limitation of this mandate, such as proposed, is unconstitutional. This is further underlined by the decision of the High Court in the case of Hesbon Mole Agwena and Jarius Musumba and 3 others versus Nairobi City Council and the Office of the Auditor General, where the court held that the constitutional timelines spelled out in Article 229(4) of the Constitution, which requires that the Auditor General shall, within 6 months after the end of each financial year, audit and report in respect of that financial year on the accounts of the national and county governments and all funds and authorities of the national and county governments must be complied with, and correspondingly that Parliament must debate and consider such reports within 3 months after receipt of the audit report. This puts the cut-off date for the consideration of the audit reports at 31st of March of each year and severely constrains the program of the Senate watchdog committees. Article 124 of the Constitution vests in Parliament the power to establish its committees and to make standing orders for the orderly conduct of its proceedings, including the proceedings of its committees. The power to appoint members of the committees and to remove them from the service of these committees is exclusively a power of the Senate, and the Council of Governors demand that certain senators be removed from the service of any of these committees without constitutional anchor. Honorable Senators, the foregoing notwithstanding, the request by the Council of Governors for an engagement with the leadership of the Senate is consistent with constitutional requirements of Article 6(2) and 189 of the Constitution for consultation and cooperation between the 2 levels of government, and is welcome. Accordingly, I have invited the leadership of the Council of Governors to a meeting with the leadership of the Senate to be held on Thursday, 26th of February 2026 at 10 a.m. at the Mini Chamber County Hall, Parliament Buildings here in Nairobi. In the meantime, I have made it clear to the Council of Governors that as a condition for going ahead with the meeting on the proposed date, the constitutional provisions on legislative oversight must be clearly understood to be enforced, and accordingly, any governor invited or summoned to appear before any committee of the Senate must do so, failing which the consequences provided for in the Constitution and the law shall follow. I thank you. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for your communication. That gives me a little bit of comfort, at least knowing that the leadership and you have addressed and given this matter the weight that it deserves. Because as we sit here today, Mr. Speaker, we stand accused because of the actions of governors who, instead of choosing to pursue whatever grievances they may have with the committee of this House, have decided to cast aspersions, name, and say so many other unhelpful things, Mr. Speaker, which many of us took great exception of. I am glad, Mr. Speaker, and appreciate your wisdom in the communication that you have given. But just to provide clarity, I hope I heard you clear, Mr. Speaker, that for us to have that meeting as a leadership of the House on the 26th of February, it is pegged on the conduct of governors' continuous appearance before our oversight committees. And if any of them fails to appear, Mr. Speaker,
then let the law follow its course. Because the Parliamentary Privileges Act, Mr. Speaker, as well as all other laws, provide for what you do with errant members of the public who fail to appear or honor parliamentary summons, Mr. Speaker. Parliamentary summons are equivalent, Mr. Speaker, to an order of the High Court of this Republic, and therefore can never be waived by a decision of people who are cooling breeze and enjoying themselves in Kilifi. Then they incite themselves like high school Form 2 students and say, oh, from today we can no longer appear before Senate. That cannot be entertained. Mr. Speaker, you cannot behave in an indignified manner. Then you want to address the House from all the corners of the country saying, oh, we shall come or we shall not come. That can never be waived. Not even you, not even this House, Mr. Speaker, because the Constitution sits at the apex of constitutional order in this country, Mr. Speaker. And it has placed a responsibility on this House on what to do when there are matters that are of concern. I would have appreciated, Mr. Speaker, what I expect a decent governor to do. If you feel you have been harassed by a member of a certain committee, somebody has reached out to you inappropriately, Mr. Speaker, you write to the Speaker and say, I have an issue that I need to bring to your attention because you're the umpire of this House. You're the one that ensures that everything that we do, how we operate, Mr. Speaker, is in accordance with the law, statute, and the Constitution, Mr. Speaker. Then you would have guided them on how to file before the Powers and Privilege Committee, a committee completely different from any other in this House, Mr. Speaker. And this has happened before. It's not the first time. Last time we had mention of such incidences. Yet, finally, Mr. Speaker, when those matters were investigated, when those members of the who are complaining were invited to appear before that committee, Mr. Speaker, they had nothing to share. Unfortunately, they had already besmirched the House, said very unhelpful things about this particular House, Mr. Speaker. That cannot be allowed to continue, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I appreciate that you have put it on record that any governor who fails to appear before any committee of the House, as expected by the full law, the necessary sanctions must take, Mr. Speaker, President as expected, Mr. Speaker, because we cannot waive that duty, Mr. Speaker, at the altar of political convenience, Mr. Speaker. The last thing that I want to say to you colleagues is that our duty is not a very easy one. Members of the Senate are perhaps the only members actually of elected leadership positions in the country who handle no other public funds except their salary. And that should never be construed to mean that we are cheap people, that we are people that can easily be enticed, Mr. Speaker, so that any time people interact with us, if somebody asks difficult questions, then you believe that maybe there's something they want from you. That is not an accurate representation of who we are as a House of Parliament, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I register my appreciation to you and to the leadership of this House for that very wise decision, Mr. Speaker. Let them appear so that on the 26th, I want them to come. Because there are many difficult questions beyond even, you know, Mr. Speaker, for the record, that have been an advocate saying, I don't feel that the park is doing even enough than what we need to do. Each of us here, from the counties that we represent, there are more difficult questions that are being asked by Wananchi and the people that we represent than what is even being asked in park, Mr. Speaker. And it is our duty to ensure that we represent our constituents, ask the right question so that devolution succeeds, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I look forward to that interaction on that particular day, hoping that it will put this matter to rest so that we can be back to our constitutional duty of ensuring that devolution succeeds in the Republic of Kenya. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, I think in the wisdom of the Speaker, he has allowed me to speak. I am not accused. It is the House that is accused. And I must speak for the House rather than for myself. I have seen my name circulating in what I would call gutter press. It does not scare me. What scares me is the point when this House becomes neutered, rendered weak and ineffective, and micromanaged by the Council of Governors. That must be the focus. It is not about Kajwang or Sifuna or Cherarkei or Mwaruma. It is about this institution where I've chosen to serve for the last 10 years. Mr. Speaker, we have never had a situation where the Council of Governors attempts to define and dictate who sits in which committee. It is unfortunate that today, the Council of Governors has close to 5 governors who have been ranking members of this House. The former Speaker of this House, the former Minority Leader of this House, the former Majority Whip of this House, the former Chair of the Public Accounts Committee of this House, the former Minority Whip of this House. We would have expected that over the years, relationships between governors and Senate would improve. Indeed, the Senate is fulfilling its end of the bargain. Every year, we are engaged in conflict with the National Assembly and the National Treasury as we fight for more resources to go to county governments. This year, Mr. Speaker, we have committed ourselves to transfer not less than 450 billion. And when I looked at the dispatch from the cabinet this week, Mr. Speaker, I think the figure that the presidency indicated is going to go to county governments is 495.7 billion. Just a few billions shy of 500 billion. Now, that is a work of the Senate. We have delivered our bit of the bargain. Can't the governors just style up? Can't the governors just take a day? And we are not calling for a week or months, just one day to account for how they're using those resources. Mr. Speaker, if we do not stand up for this House, today it would be Kajwang chairing the committee. Tomorrow it would be my brother, the Majority Whip, chairing the committee. But if that sword of Damocles coming from the Council of Governors is not severed, then this House will not be able to do anything. In a properly functioning financial system, when you are given money, you account for it before you get more. Over the last 10 years, we have not done so. Mr. Speaker, it is time for us to come up with a framework where if we are giving counties 495 billion, before they come for more, they must account. And that must be the insistence. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank this chair, I want to thank the Speaker and the leadership of this House for not reducing this to an individual problem. And Mr. Speaker, you reached out and spoke with us in the Public Accounts Committee and Public Investments Committee and told us do not go on the defensive because it is not you as individuals. This is a coordinated attack on the institution of the Senate. And you, Mr. Speaker, and the leadership, and all members of this House have spoken in unison. Mr. Speaker, allegations have been made against us. Allegations that have not been substantiated, have not been supported by evidence. The rules of debate in this House is that if you cannot substantiate an allegation, you withdraw and apologize. And members here have never hesitated to invoke that particular standing order. Mr. Speaker, I want to challenge the accusers that if they have evidence, let them do it in a proper manner, let them substantiate, and if they cannot substantiate, let them withdraw, let them apologize. Mr. Speaker, the damage has already been done. On the other hand, we as senators, the evidence of theft in county governments is documented. It is in the reports of the Auditor General. Mr. Speaker, in Tharaka Nithi, 35 million was used to buy an incinerator. The EACC has recommended that the DPP press charges. Nothing has happened. Mr. Speaker, let's put it in context because we throw around numbers. 35 million for an average Kenyan earning 30,000 shillings a month. That is his salary for 97 years. 97. Mr. Speaker, in the county of Vihiga, 5 million spent on housewarming is not our invention. It is verifiable. It is in the audit report. It is the documents of the county. A Kenyan earning 30,000 a month, that's his salary for 14 years. In Bungoma, Mr. Speaker, 3.9 million spent on lighting a Christmas tree in September. And I'm happy that the EACC has already swiftly swung in to investigate the matter. 3.9 million for a Kenyan earning 30,000 is his salary for 10 years. Mr. Speaker, in Mandera, 55 million spent on seedlings in a period of drought. 55 million for a Kenyan earning 30,000 is a Kenyan salary for 152 years. None of us is going to live long enough to earn that kind of money. In Embu, 10 million used on a border event. 10 million for a Kenyan earning 30,000 a month is a salary for 28 years. Kenyans need to be outraged by the kind of reports and the kind of stories that come out of the Senate, by the kind of revelations that are coming out of these committees. But what do our governors do? The proverbial thief who turns around and accuses the pursuer that he's the thief. We have had 2 weeks of exposes, Mr. Speaker, not our invention, not fiction, based on audit reports. What are the governors trying to do? Deflect attention and make the Senate look like they are the thieves. Yet they are the ones with documented, where there is evidence, where there is proper reports of theft. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude by saying that I have never seen a situation where you go to court and the suspect insists on empaneling the bench. I have never seen, even in my football days, where the players decide on the referee. It cannot be that the Council of Governors want a user-friendly committee. I pray, Mr. Speaker, and I have firm conviction in your leadership and the leadership of this House, that you are not going to accede to that request. Because if it works in Parliament, today it will be the governors, tomorrow it will be the President making a call. And once they are done with Parliament, they will go to the judiciary. And the constitutional order as we know it will completely die. Let this baby not die in our hands. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank a few counties that are outliers. They have said that they have read the Constitution and the County Governments Act, and they know that when we invite them, we never invite a mongrel called Council of Governors. We sent invitations directly to governors and counties. Narok County, Mr. Speaker, appeared before my committee yesterday. Kitui County appeared before the Public Investments Committee. Laikipia County appeared before the Public Investments Committee. My advice to the governors, we are going to fight for you to get 495.7 billion. Please, just take a day or two to come and tell us how that money has been used, how it's impacting on the lives of the people, and we shall be good. Any other matter will be sideshows that we as a Senate will not tolerate. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your steadfast support. I want to guarantee this House that we shall continue doing our job in the Public Accounts Committee. If you give us that opportunity, we shall be firm. We shall be very firm. But we shall also be fair. We shall be mindful and respectful. But, Mr. Speaker, where there is evidence of theft of public resources, we shall call them out, and we shall identify the thieves, and we shall tell EACC to deal with them. And, Mr. Speaker, the Inspector General of Police, I want to congratulate him because he's an appointee of this House. He appeared before my committee today, and he confirmed that he agrees that Article 125 puts him in a position of responsibility to produce governors. And his conclusion was this: if a governor refuses to come to the Senate, you just need to write to us and tell us the date and the time when you need that governor. And they'll produce that governor within 24 hours. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the House for standing for the institution called the Senate.
Senator Murango.
Asante sana, Mr. Speaker. Kwanza ningetaka niseme ya kwamba ni kweli kwamba yaliyosemwa na magavana haijasemwa kwa wachache, ila imesemwa kwetu zote. Mr. Speaker, ukiona manyoya ujue imeliwa. Mr. Speaker, kitu ambayo sikuweza kuelewa ni kwa sababu walipoongea juu ya yale maneno ambayo walisema, hawakusema kama kuna kitu walipeana. Hawakuwa na shida na kusema hiyo. Lakini walikuwa na shida kwa sababu wanaitwa kuja katika kamati tofauti. Na mmoja wao akasema hata ni vizuri kukosa kuja kwa sababu ile faini ambao wanapewa inakuanga nafuu. Kwa hivyo shida yao haikuwa ni pesa, Mr. Speaker. Na niambie wenzangu waliotanjwa ya kwamba wasijali kwa sababu ya kuzungumzwa. Sifa nzuri inakuanga ni ya marehemu peke yake. Kwa hivyo sisi tutasemwa. Kwa sababu kazi lazima tutaifanya. Mr. Speaker, kuna kazi ambayo tumepewa kuweza kuangalia na sana sana kamati ya uhasibu. Na unajua Murina haogopi nyuki. Kama anaogopa nyuki hakuna venye anaweza pata asali. Na kwa hivyo wakati kamati ya uhasibu inafanya kazi, msiogope kusema, atasema. Na mimi ningekwambia mwenyekiti, mtu akija amekosea, fieka. Chelagei mtu akija ameiba pesa umma, fiekelea mbali. Na kama kuna kesi itakuja baadaye, sisi ndio tutakuja kuisimamia na kuisikiza. Kwa kwa sababu tukikumbalia hawa mangavana na tabia zao zile na tunazijua, wanataka kwanza watuuzie uoga ndio tuweze kuachana na wao, waendelee na umbadhirifu wa pesa, watuondoe kwa njia ambayo sisi na ile nguvu tumepewa kikatiba. Mstahiki Spika, unajua sana nilipoangalia wale walikuwa naongea, unajua ukienda kula chakula Mstahiki Spika, alafu upate unywele kwenye chakula, huwa inashukiwa zaidi kama mpishi ana kipara. Unaanza kujiuliza zile nywele ziko chakula zimetoka wapi? Wale waliokuwa naongea pale na kutoa taarifa Mstahiki Spika, ni kama mpishi ambaye ako na kipara. Wako na mandoa. Mmoja ni mwenye aliwasha mti kichaka ya sijui ya kusherehekea sikukuu na shilingi milioni 5. Ndio walikuwa natoa taarifa na kejeli ili wakifikiria kwamba sisi tutawaogopa. Lakini tutaendelea kusema. Mstahiki Spika, nikimalizia, mimi naangalia naona uhusiano wetu na mangavana unakuwa uhusiano mzito sana. Inakuwa ni kama ndoa ya Kombe na Simba Marara. Kwa sababu ndoa kama ile siku zote mkianza kutembea inakuanga ni marumbano. Kwa sababu Kombe hana mwendo na Simba Marara hako na mwendo. Hii ndoa yetu na mangavana lazima tujue tunaenda nayo mpaka wapi. Kwa sababu kila siku mangavana wakienda ongea maneno haina maana. Sisi tunakuwa kazi yetu ni kuja kuwapapasa. Mimi nasema kwamba mshale ukija usiku unarudishiwa njia hiyo hiyo usiku. Tusije tukapembeleza tena Mstahiki Spika. Kwa sababu ni kutuzoea. Na ninajua ni kwa nini. Kwa sababu tukiuliza maswali ambayo inafaa kwenye katika kamati husika, kuliko anjibu wanachukua miezi na wengine karibu wachukue mpaka miaka. Lakini tunapokuja na kukaa kuwauliza maswali hapa, wanaanza kuwa wakali. Kutakuwa ni sandifa gani Mstahiki Spika? Kwamba ripoti ya mwasi mkuu wakati imetoka, wakati wameanza kuitwa ndio wameanza kulalamika. Na kwa nini basi hawakuwa nalalamika moja moja? Na niulize, tangu lini katika mbio za farasi Kombe amekuwa mshauri? Kwa hivyo hakuna venye tunaweza chukua wosia wa mangavana. Ni nani atakaa kwenye kamati? Kesho watakuja waseme hatutaki huyu tunataka Mundege, hatutaki huyu tunataka. Kama ni hivyo, kwa nini basi tuwe na seneti? Kwa hivyo Mstahiki Spika, ningesema kwamba mtu kama unataka kusamehewa, nenda kanisa na ufuate Biblia huko. Lakini ukija katika jumba la seneti, utajibu maswali, utaudhika, lakini lazima utakuja kuwajibika, useme pesa za wananchi zimeenda wapi. Mstahiki Spika, mimi nitamalizia kwa kusema kitu moja. Niseme ya kwamba sijakaa kwa muda mrefu katika nyumba la seneti. Lakini ujue mwenye anataka kukumaliza na wewe uko na jeshi lako, ataanza kuua wanajeshi wako ambao wanaonekana ni shupavu na wenye wako na nguvu. Kwa hivyo katika mchakato wote unaona wa mangavana wamelenga wale watu wanaona wanaweza simama akaongea bila uoga. Na ndio maana ukiangalia wenye wametajwa unajua ni watu ambao wanaweza simama na wakaongea. Ndio wanataka kwanza waseme watolewe hao. Ndio kuonekane kama kuna nafasi ya udhaifu. Ili gavana akija anasalimiwa, alafu kuna maombi, alafu anambarikiwa, anakunywa chai, naambiwa anaenda nyumbani sarafa, ni salama na usalimie mkeo. Tusikubali hiyo Mstahiki Spika. Asante sana Mstahiki Spika.
Senator Olekina Ledama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me appreciate you taking your time to be able to defend this House and for your communication. Mr. Speaker, I'm quite saddened by the position taken by the Council of Governors. A unity that will not be able to save any individual governor from accountability. Mr. Speaker, regardless of the allegation, oversight is a must. And these governors know very well that the Senate has been established by statute, by the Constitution, to be able to defend the interests of the counties and their government. Why is it that it's okay, and we are the darlings of governors, when we are fighting for them to get more monies? Why is it that it's okay for us to be able to fight among ourselves when we want more monies to go to our counties, but it is not okay for county governors to be able to come and to be held accountable? Mr. Speaker, the Senate does not audit county governors. the audit is carried out by the Auditor General. And today, Kenyans will be shocked when they hear facts. And I'll take a minute or two, Mr. Speaker, to be able to highlight certain facts which have been laid by the Auditor General on specific counties that today I've taken it upon myself to call upon the EACC and the DPP to proceed further and investigate. Number one, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the issue of Kisii County, and I'll be very candid on this, there is the issue of ongoing unsupported work expenditures and post-audit adjustments masking potential fraud. Those are not the words of my colleagues in the Park Committee. They are not the words of this Senate. That is the finding of the Auditor General. Wajir County, Mr. Speaker, there are large unsupported payments with inadequate documentation risking ghost northern projects. Those are not my words. Those are the Auditor General. Nyeri County, Mr. Speaker, there are delayed reconstructed accounts and year-end expenditures, surge suggesting concealment. Those are not my words. Those are the Auditor General. Mandera County, there is a chronological impossible payment, predated invoice, and bulk voucher without verifiables. Let's move to Busia County, Mr. Speaker. Irregular pre-audit approvals and phantom supplies disbursements. Bungoma County, and I'm particularly perturbed with Bungoma County because the current governor sitting there was sitting in the chair, Mr. Speaker. The auditor has cited serious issues, including split transactions to evade threshold and repeated vendor overpayment. Mr. Speaker, if you go to Embu County, which my colleagues have already alluded to, there are specific issues to do with cash control lapses and unverified advances in service delivery. Let's move to Homa Bay County. Let us all be candid today. There is disputed bursaries, health allocation denied by the end beneficiaries, Mr. Speaker. If you go to school, the teachers will say, we did not receive those bursaries. You go to health facilities, they'll say, we did not receive that money. Let's go to Vihiga County, Mr. Speaker. There is missing project files and adjustments, heavy bursaries and work programs. And now, icing on the cake, Tharaka Nithi. There is sequential voucher alteration, post-submissions to cover malfeasance or wrongdoings, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if the county governors who are tasked with the fiduciary responsibility are not willing to be able to be accountable, what exactly are we talking about here? Why should we even be standing here and fighting for 495 billion shillings to go to counties? Most of those governors, I dare say, were hustlers. They lived in apartments in Nairobi, but today they live in manicured mansions, travel in helicopters, fleet of vehicles. And they dare point a finger at this house which is supposed to be oversighting them. Shame on them, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, accountability or being called to account for what has been sent to you is not harassment. And today I want to tell these governors, you are bringing this to yourself. You traversed your counties and asked for the citizens to vote for you. Do you think that the privileges that we have now, a poor person there, earlier on, Mr. Speaker, we are talking about gangs that are coming up. They are coming up because you cannot sit down there and look at your CIDP and say, I have a problem here. The only thing you can say is that, I don't want to be harassed. Harass my foot, Mr. Speaker. You need to grow some thick skin to know that those who are given so much, a lot is required from them. Mr. Speaker, under Article 125, and I'm glad that you've pointed it out in your communication, it is not please, it is a must. And I want to invite the governors to take the Constitution and reread Article 125 of the Constitution, to take the statute, the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act, and read Section 19 of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act. Mr. Speaker, I know earlier on we were talking about, maybe adjusting the figures. And I heard my colleague talking about saying, I'd rather not show up and pay the 500,000 shillings, which I'll be penalized. Mr. Speaker, I think it's about time that we do not treat any statute as being static. It is about time that we look at the consequences, intended and unintended, in terms of our legislation, to guarantee accountability. It is wrong, Mr. Speaker, that because the fine is 500,000 and that money is not your own hard-earned money, it is money that you get from the public offer that you're willing to be able to pay as a fine. Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude by saying this. Every governor out there must uphold the fiduciary responsibility. And remember that today you are there, tomorrow most of them will be crying to come to the Senate. I want to tell you that Council of Governors will not defend you when you go to court. In fact, the courts have already upheld the position of the Senate. And they have already made a determination that the Council of Governors cannot defend you on issues of fiduciary responsibility. The Council of Governors can talk about devolution. They can come together and say, let's lobby the executive, let's lobby Parliament together for more money to go to our counties. But I want to remind them that the Council of Governors will not be there when you are being prosecuted, when you are being asked to account for the money that you've been entrusted, a fiduciary responsibility. In fact, most of them will be saying, hey, even me, they're coming after me. So ESCC, ODPP, it is upon you. Let us not, for the sake of future generation, let us not turn those audit reports as just documents that the Auditor General has spent so much money and manpower to be able to unearth the rot, the malpractices that is happening in the counties, and just keep them to collect dust. Let us now take it upon ourselves to make sure that we call these governors to account. And Mr. Speaker, as I sit down, I want to thank you for reiterating it. And I want to spell it out, that the only time that we will be willing to sit down and discuss issues to do with accountability, issues to do with treatment, maybe making sure that when you appear, we don't waste so much time, we deal with your issues, is when you continue attending to this session. Senate itself cannot stop you from coming. This is a constitutional requirement that you must respect. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kathuri.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity also to give a comment or two on this matter that has really elicited a lot of public attention, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know, even without going very far, the role of the Senate is very, very clear, like day and night, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this House, as in Article 96(3), determines the allocation of national revenue among counties as provided in Article 217 of the Constitution of Kenya, and exercises oversight over national revenue allocated to the county governments. Mr. Speaker, even without translating or trying to get letters from the Council of Governors, the Constitution is very clear, Mr. Speaker. What they are requesting you to do, to suspend members of the CPAC committee, not to appear many times in the Senate, that they should be appearing only once during the audit queries process, that is between January and March. Mr. Speaker, you have no power to do that. What they're asking you to do is like to save someone who is going to die, and you have no power, Mr. Speaker, to do that. The Constitution is very clear. You cannot suspend the Constitution, Mr. Speaker. Actually, you should take these people to court because they're actually trying to give you more problems, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I remember this House since we came in the year 2022. During the financial 2023-24, we allocated 354 billion to the counties. The following year, 24-25, this money went to 387 billion. 25-26, 415 billion. Mr. Speaker, I remember in the year 2024-25, before the financial bill, we had allocated 405 and we had agreed. Mr. Speaker, I was the co-chair of the mediation committee between myself and Honorable Ndendi Nyoro. You know, when we were negotiating, governors were calling me every time. They were happy, clapping, that we are really determined to give them more money. Then if we give you more money, if more is given to you, more is expected from you as in accountability, Mr. Speaker. They were very happy indeed. They're always happy when we are discussing money issues in the Senate. Mr. Speaker, you know we are champions of devolution. We are always telling the national government, please devolve functions and also devolve resources to the counties. But then what are we getting from the governors? They are really throwing rotten eggs to the Senate, Mr. Speaker. You know, the Senate does not, the County Public Account Committee, CPIC, does not summon the Council of Governors to appear before these committees. It is the responsibility of that particular governor to account for the resources that goes to his county. But when these failures, the failing governors, when they fail, they just call for a meeting so that now all of them can do what we call mob justice to the Senate, Mr. Speaker. Even today, tomorrow, the following day, there will be no invitation coming from you and the clerk of the Senate going to the Council of Governors. Letters are written directly to the respective governors because the accountability is not joint accountability. It is the particular governor who should account for the resources, Mr. Speaker. And even now, you see, it is very absent. If you go to the committee like CPAC today, even the chairman of Council of Governors is writing letters requesting for more time so that he can appear. But then he's parading governors saying, we shall never appear. But then he's still talking to the committees that give me more 2-3 days so that I can appear and clear myself. You know, there is no genuinity in this matter, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I want to advise the governors, and most of them, Mr. Speaker, if you scrutinize all these governors who are in the press conferences, have been members of parliament. I don't want to mention their names, but if you scrutinize them, their counties have been mentioned here by my colleagues. 2 or 3 of them have been registrators. And they have beef, maybe I don't know whether they did not perform when they were serving this house or the lower house. Mr. Speaker, I served with them also in the National Assembly, some of them. Others served with other colleagues, the chair CPAC in this house, Mr. Speaker, including the Speaker used to sit where you are sitting, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I don't know why members who have served in the legislature are more aggressive than those who have come from other quarters to become governors, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I'm happy that you have given a very good guidance. Mr. Speaker, you are also very magnanimous that besides trying to suspend committees, trying to say they will not appear, you have also given them a date to appear before your leadership, Mr. Speaker, and this is a good thing. Mr. Speaker, today, this afternoon, on statements, not statements, but on the number 3, the majority leader has tabled so many other reports from the Auditor General, going to the counties, going to CPAC, others to CPIC. Mr. Speaker, when they say they will not be appearing before the Senate, all these reports being read here every afternoon by the majority leader, where shall we take these reports, Mr. Speaker? Do they want us to close the Senate and go home? Let me tell you, Mr. Speaker, I've said it again, even this week, that the governors have no option. If you don't want accountability, go and do your personal issues. Decide and don't go and do your personal business, because you will have no public scrutiny when you are going losses into your own personal business. So, Mr. Speaker, thank you for this time. And Mr. Speaker, I think it's the chairs of SPIC and CPAC, you have been so lenient with these officers, state officers. Put your best foot forward from today. Just bring reports. We have been asking you, the chairs, why don't you give us the governors who have misused public resources? every audit cycle, even after March, the deadline, just table your report here. To table a very clear report so that we can discuss them properly with your findings, because you've been sitting, summoning them. So table their findings, to table your findings from the committee in this house, so that now, the month of March, we can really discuss those reports and see the road that is in the counties, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the governor for Meru appeared before CPAC. I was with Senator Maruma. The vice chair was the chair of the session. And we went through the reports. We saw gray areas. And then we said this should be improved, because there are some instances where some money was spent, almost 700 million with the MTF, and nobody knows where it went to. There is no documentation on the roads that were done. So we have said we want the auditors to do special.
Honorable Senator, you have done 10 minutes. So 1 minute to conclude.
Honorable Speaker, sorry, but this is a very juicy topic, because that is why we were elected by the people we represent, Mr. Speaker, to take care of the country. So I was saying, chairs, please let us have very clear reports after this, so that we can be able to scrutinize your findings after the March 30th. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you again.
Senator Wambua.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to also join my colleagues to congratulate you for the bold decision and the official communication that you have issued concerning the appearance of governors before committees of Parliament, committees of the Senate. Speaker, number one, it is baffling to see governors who are supposed to be heads of county governments coming together, and instead of discussing important issues affecting our counties, they are busy picking and choosing where to appear and where not to appear. They have even taken the joke further, Mr. Speaker, and they want to take it upon themselves to be the people determining which senator seats in which committee. And as if that is not enough, Mr. Speaker, they have issued a threat, which is a very flimsy threat, that if their conditions are not met, they are not going to appear before committees of the Senate. Mr. Speaker, let's speak to these governors straight. The choice of whether to appear or not appear is a choice between good and evil, and it's a personal choice. You can choose to disobey the law or obey the law. You can choose to be guided by the Constitution or not be guided by the Constitution. And there can never be any aspect of collectivity in that decision. You cannot tell us that we have decided as Council of Governors that governors would not be appearing. The Council of Governors does not make accountability decisions for individual governors. Mr. Speaker, secondly, I want to remind the county governors that the appearance before Senate committees is so important that it is actually astonishing that one would even think, leave alone effecting it, think that they can invite the Speaker of the Senate to join them in subverting the Constitution. You know, they're asking the Speaker, Speaker, please come and join us and agree with us that certain things need to happen for us to appear before the Senate. No other than the President himself, and I want Senator Cheregai to hear this, leave alone the governors who represent smaller constituencies compared to the President. The Constitution, Article 132, under the functions of the President. The first function of the President is to appear before Parliament. And that's in the Constitution. That is the first function assigned to the President. Surely, I don't know what these governors are thinking. You know, I mean, they want to say, now because they can say they are not going to appear before because they don't want so-and-so sitting in a committee. Are they also suggesting that the President should one day wake up and say, because Senator Wambua says one term all the time, I will not appear before Parliament if Senator Wambua is still in Parliament? I mean, what kind of thinking is this? What kind of thinking is this? Governors, wake up and smell the coffee. This is not a suggestion. And we are not even pleading with you to appear. Honestly, Speaker, we shouldn't plead with any governor to appear before a committee of Parliament. If they choose not to appear, then so be it. So be it. Because what we do ourselves as senators sitting in committees of Parliament, especially the oversight committees of CPAC and CPIC, the Constitution is very clear. Ours is just to consider and debate the report of the Auditor General. That's all we are called upon to do. And Mr. Speaker, I keep asking myself, if and when a governor appears before a committee, and the report of the Auditor General says that this governor has spent 5 million Kenya shillings for a housewarming party, what are we as senators expected to do? Are we supposed to overlook that report? Or are we supposed to clap for them for spending that money for a housewarming party? When a governor says that we have spent 10 million Kenya shillings from CAIP to do a border event, and it is in the report of the Auditor General, what am I, a member of the committee, what am I supposed to do? Tell the people of that county that that money was used prudently? When a governor, Mr. Speaker, appears before a committee of the Senate, an oversight committee of the Senate, and in their own words, they admit that it is true that they have employees who are working long after their contracts have expired. What are we supposed to do? Now, Speaker, what I'm trying to say is, for us as a Senate, we shall be guided, and we shall base our interrogation on the reports that we receive from the office of the Auditor General. And if any governor has a problem with any senator, for whatever reason, there are channels that are open for redress. There is a procedure that is open for anybody, not just governors, to raise their concerns with whatever behavior they think is unbecoming of whichever senator. But Mr. Speaker, for for governors to come together and list names of senators and assassinate their characters and expect that now after doing that, now they want a meeting with the leadership of the Senate. To discuss what? The Speaker, I thank you for the decision that you have taken. That before any such meeting happens, then the governors must demonstrate goodwill and good faith. They must be seen appearing before committees of the Senate. They must withdraw the letters that they have published out there in social media and sent to the Speaker, and they must apologize and withdraw the remarks that they have made against individual senators, assassinating their characters without reason. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, when I woke up in the morning and coming here, I was a bit disturbed because I knew I was coming into a leadership meeting and I didn't know what decision the leadership of the Senate was going to take on this matter. As Speaker, I want to go on record that I'll go home a very happy senator. That the leadership of the Senate and the entire Senate of the Republic of Kenya have reaffirmed their faith
Your colleagues have really queued. You see the traffic flow coming to my chair, to the chair, because they really want to speak on this. But give him 30 seconds just to put the full stop.
Mr. Speaker, 30 seconds. Why now, Mr. Speaker?
Because of your colleagues.
Mr. Speaker, you were given 1 minute just a few minutes ago. I mean, you can't extend the same favor to
I'm the deputy speaker.
Mr. Speaker, surely you can't extend the same favor to...
As you are still now, you trace the time. You trace the time.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, then I submit.
Thank you. Honorable Senators, there is a problem with the system. The request, I can't see most of you on the screen. Therefore, you can request again, especially if you can't see any light on your gadget. If you can't see the light on your gadget, you can be able to. Okay. Senator Wafula, Majority Whip.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity for me to ventilate on. I want to request the Speaker to protect me from Senator Faki. He is yelling in the House. Honorable Speaker, I want to weigh in on this matter, where governors are behaving like there are no rules and a constitution in this country. Honorable Speaker, I watched them talk yesterday, and I thought we have no government. I thought we have no Senate. I thought the citizens of this country have gone to the nearby countries as tourists. And our governors were singing this song in Swahili, bora ni enjoy maisha mafupi misipo. Because when a governor says that 500,000 is little money, and the county they come from, children stay the whole day without anything. The floors of their classes are bad. The visitors have nothing. The CHPs, 6 months, from July up to December, November, they were not paid. And some young man says that that is little money. It is an insult to Kenyans. When you look at, Honorable Speaker, where an accused officer is just asking a cockroach to dictate if it is a duck, a hen, or a turkey to adjudicate its case. It can't happen. They must come and be accountable to the people of Kenya. It is sad, Honorable Speaker, to note that some of these counties, when you visit, looking at the bills that they incur, you realize that some of the workers on contract for over 10 years, their gratuity has never been paid. And when you ask these people where the money is, they can't tell. When you ask some of these people, when was the last time your workers were promoted? They can't tell. The real workers are not promoted, but the people in the line ministries are promoted. It is bad manners, Honorable Speaker. When you look at some of these people, Honorable Speaker, visit to their hospitals, the county hospitals we have been visiting as a health committee, they have no drugs. The mortuaries are bad. We have people who are held hostage because they can't pay bills. And yet they are here saying they can't be held accountable. We were checking, Honorable Speaker, the running of hospitals under Mheshimiwa Soti. It reaches a time when they simply switch off systems and they resort to collect monies as if they are collecting love offerings in church. And when you look at the books of accounts, monies in and monies into the county revenue fund, the monies do not match. They don't want us to ask those questions. When you look at how they purchase fertilizer and farm inputs, and the way they distribute these things, when you ask them, do you have a farmer's inventory to dictate how you're going to distribute these things? They don't have. But they are busy behaving like benevolent dictators in this country. The law must be followed. This must be held to account. Honorable Speaker, we were looking at the books of Bungoma. How can you fail to surrender or remit statutory deductions of workers for very, very many months? And yet you want to go back to the controller budget and ask that they give you another allocation to pay? We will not accept this. So we are asking the governors of this country that you are here for a period and a season. Do what you ought to do and give us peace as Kenyans. Someone, Honorable Speaker, was telling senators, if Mheshimiwa Kajwang, if senators go out in counties, to counties, it's called county tours of oversight. Then a governor tells you as a senator, you have no right to inspect programs and projects on the ground. He's simply telling you, you are not a voter, you are not a Kenyan. Any senator can visit any program, any project, anywhere, to confirm if it is there or not, unless the governor was simply ferried or imported from a country not known in this country, in this world. So we are telling governors, we as senators, we are going an extra mile to confirm the projects that we are seeing on paper, if they are reflected on the ground, and the quality of work on the ground, and if the people were involved to ensure that program is done. We have a scenario, Honorable Speaker, where people just sit in an office and say, because these children look malnourished, put 30 million for porridge. When you confirm from the factory versus what is on the cup, my good Speaker, these guys are behaving like the proverbial Ananias in the Bible. So we have to catch up with them, stamp up our authority, and I will request the Senate, we need to invite EACC. These damning reports that we are reading and presenting to Kenyans every day. Like in Bungoma last year, also under your committee, we looked at the bursary and scholarship fund in Bungoma. Millions of shillings could not be accounted for. The chairman requested EACC to do a forensic audit. They have not done it. My governor is saying because the EACC has not given a report, we can't pay. But I just saw the books. 2024, 2025, somewhere 2023. There was some money for bursaries and scholarships. I don't know where it went to. And I'm telling you, my friend, Ken Lusaka, I'm coming for you. You must be held accountable. As you enjoy declaring success stories, I was voted to oversight and raise gray areas that are affecting the people, and you cannot, any governor in this country, dictate which voice, which tune, which rhythm, which speed the senators must execute their work. You must simply come with your books of accounts. And if you have done a mistake, say, I'm sorry. And within which span, I'm going to correct. So, Honorable Speaker, let me stop at this point and assure Kenyans, for Bungoma and the rest of senators, we are united to defend devolution, to propel devolution, and to make people benefit from devolution, not to suffer and regret why we voted in for this new constitution. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well, Senator Ososi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I sit here, I am surprised, and I want to say it's unfortunate, that instead of governors decorating this Senate and celebrating this Senate for the good work that this Senate has done, they are coming out to condemn the Senate. Mr. Speaker, I will explain why. Mr. Speaker, it has been a concern that this House, the previous houses, were actually examining audit reports for the governors who had left office. We were like 4 years behind. When we came in, we were doing 2018 financial year, 2017-2018 financial year. But, Mr. Speaker, these two committees of the Senate, the PAC committee and the PIC committee, have worked so hard, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that we are now current. Because now we are working on 2024-2025 financial year, which is the current one. Mr. Speaker, when you see governors are complaining and getting worried, it is simply because this House has worked so hard to ensure that we are dealing with the current report and we are dealing with the governors to respond to the issues while they are in office, not to come and respond to the issues of the previous governor who was there. And that's where the fear is, Mr. Speaker, because we interact with these governors, and some of them have been telling us that you are too fast. Why can't you delay so that someone else will come and answer my queries? Mr. Speaker, these committees, we must be celebrated by Kenyans for being current. And Mr. Speaker, it is so surprising that the governors who expect us to give them more money are the ones who are trying to derail our work, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as you are aware, the same counties are the ones who went to court. The county assembly, the officials of Nairobi County, they went to court to question the report by the county assembly of Nairobi, Alcoholic Drinks Fund, that report was done outside the timelines defined under Article 229 of the Constitution, which require that 3 months after the Auditor General has presented the report before the House must dispense with that report in 3 months. Mr. Speaker, as a result of that court ruling, the Speaker of this House directed that we must comply with Article 229 of the Constitution. And this House had done so well. Mr. Speaker, members of these two committees have been here since January, second week of January, trying to deal with this report so that they beat the deadline. And the governors have been busy going for holidays, going for retreats, lying beside the beaches as we work, only to come out and start saying that the senators are harassing them, are extorting money from them. Mr. Speaker, this tells you how the priorities in our county is misplaced, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want the governors to understand that if this House complies with Article 229 of the Constitution, it means we'll be up to date. And therefore, they would rather work with us so that we can compel the National Assembly to adhere to Article 2 or 3 of the Constitution that requires that while computing the shareable revenue, you base it on the most current audited reports. That cannot be done if they don't support us. So this is not the time for our governors to take us through the mud, but to support us so that we comply with the provisions of Article 229 so that they can get more money. In fact, more money than 495 billion that the national government is proposing. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that in my committee, the Committee of PIC, we have noted numerous issues in our counties. The water companies in our counties, Mr. Speaker, 95% of our water companies are actually insolvent. They are not making profit. They are not making any money, and they have high non-revenue water, meaning that more than 50% of the water that they generate is not accounted for. But that is the money that is taken into people's pocket, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you go to municipalities, 99% of the municipalities in all the counties, Mr. Speaker, they have not been operationalized. They are not autonomous as required by the law, the Urban Areas and Cities Act. The governors have been appearing before us year in, year out, and they promise they are going to do something about it. But when they come back, they have done nothing, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, this House every year appropriates money, the county additional allocation money from World Bank to support these municipalities. And this money is not accounted for, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the funds established in counties, most of the funds that have been established in counties are conduits for corruption, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, notoriously, there is a fund called Enterprise Fund, where they put in money and they cannot account for that money. They cannot tell you who they have given those loans. And they cannot tell you how they are going to recover. Nearly all the counties. Bursary fund in our counties, Mr. Speaker. The money that is supposed to be helping our children, most of that money is misappropriated, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the hospitals, Mr. Speaker, most hospitals that we review the audit reports, they have issues of accountability. These are the issues that we raise, and governors, all they can say is that we are harassing them. All they can say that we are intimidating them. Mr. Speaker, I am happy they are complaining. They are complaining because Senate is doing its job, Mr. Speaker. We are making them accountable. We are stopping them from stealing, Mr. Speaker. And I want all Kenyans to hear us very loudly that indeed Senate is working for the people of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, when governors complain that my committee is inviting them multiple number of times, we are inviting them multiple number of times, Mr. Speaker, because they have created unnecessary funds in the counties. They have a lot of issues in hospitals. They have a lot of issues in municipalities. They have a lot of issues in water companies, and they are not responding to those issues that we raise, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, within this short period of 3 months, from January to end of March, my committee is supposed to process 560 audit reports. Mr. Speaker, if you divide by the 47 counties, then you note that averagely each county has 12 reports. The governors are telling us that they want us to process 12 reports in one sitting, Mr. Speaker. We are not there just to touch and go, Mr. Speaker. We need to interrogate issues which are in those reports. And we came up with a formula and said, because of the need to beat the deadline, we will do 4 reports per sitting. And therefore, each county is supposed to appear before us 3 times. They are now complaining that they will not come to our committee 3 times, but they will only come once. Mr. Speaker, that is one way of avoiding the audit issues that are raised in those reports. We have made a decision as a committee that any governor who will fail to appear before us, Mr. Speaker, 1, we will surcharge him for the cost of that meeting. 2, we will adapt the report of the Auditor General as it is and recommend prosecution of the officers involved where there is misappropriation of funds. Mr. Speaker, a significant number of counties have not been complying with the Public Audit Act that require that they submit financial statements. And the law says if you do not submit financial statement, then 3 things can happen to you, Mr. Speaker. 1, imprisonment for 5 years, or a fine of 5 million, or both. We have been very lenient on this, Mr. Speaker, because we want to have mutual engagement with the governors. But now as a committee, we have now decided that any county that has not submitted financial statement to the auditor for audit as required under PFM Act and Public Audit Act, we will apply the law. We will imprison those accounting officers. We will fine them 5 million. Moving forward, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also want Kenyans to understand that the Senate makes recommendations for investigation and prosecution. But our 2 constitutional offices, EACC and ODPP, they need to do their job. We need to see them taking people in so that we don't have these people playing around with us. They know that we will make recommendations and then they play their games around EACC and avoid the law, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, one of the things that we need to do is to call the EACC to appear in the committee of the whole House to explain to us why they are not taking our recommendations, why they are not investigating, and ODPP, why they are not prosecuting the governors involved, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a very serious matter, and I want to recommend that now that we are working so hard, the 2 committees, to process the reports for 2024-2025, I would request, Mr. Speaker, in the Senate Business Committee, the last 2 weeks before the deadline of 31st, we spare that time to discuss the audit report for each county. We have adequate time, Mr. Speaker. We can suspend everything else, Mr. Speaker, and deal county by county, so that the members, you can appreciate the kind of plunder that is happening in our counties, the kind of mismanagement, the kind of violation of the law that is happening in our counties. Mr. Speaker, I have heard the statement of the Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, moving forward, we should deal with the counties, individual counties, not this amorphous body called COG. COG is proving to be a criminal enterprise, Mr. Speaker. COG is where they sit, they collude on many issues against the people of Kenya. We will want that we deal with the individual counties, because when we appropriate money in this house, we appropriate money to individual counties and not COG. Because COG is not even in law, Mr. Speaker. Why are we bothered about them? And Mr. Speaker, even as they say that they are not coming before the committee, some of the governors are appearing now. Some have even called us and said that we want you to give us this debt and this debt. It is just a notorious group of governors who think they are bigger than life, Mr. Speaker, who think that there are small gods, that they should not appear before us. And I want to say the governors who are vocal on what senators are doing are the same governors who have issues in our committees. The governor for Wajir, who is a FCPA and who is the chair of Council of Governors, I want to challenge him why there are so many issues around entities in his county. And yet he claims to be an FCPA. A lot of financial issues, financial misreporting that are happening in entities in water and even hospitals in Wajir, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we need to be very firm. We should not be intimidated. I, as a chair of CPIC, I will not be intimidated by any governor. And we are going to do reports based on facts, based on our examination of those reports, based on our deliberations in our sittings in a free, fair, but very firm manner, Mr. Speaker. And honorable members, I want that we support the two committees so that we can have proper governance in our counties. And Mr. Speaker, Senator Wakoli has also raised an issue about intimidation that senators are facing on our ground. That governors have the audacity to convene rallies with their officers and condemn governors because of their work here, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think we also need to look at the conduct of some governors. In my region, Mr. Speaker, Western region, the governors are not working. They have started early campaign. They are in campaign committees. The four governors, Governor Lusaka, Governor Otichilo, Governor Baraza, and Governor Otuom, that they have already started campaigning for seats in 2027 for a particular candidate for president. Using county money, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this will not be tolerated, and senators from the region, we have said, we will not allow you people to use county money to campaign this early. Focus on delivering services to the people of your respective counties, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to urge the governors to work very closely with senators, because we are the ones who appropriate money to you. You cannot appear like you want to fight us. You cannot appear like you want to intimidate us. You cannot appear like you want to tell us when to come and when not to come. And it's very sad, Mr. Speaker, that some of the governors who are promoting this kind of practice have been senators here, Mr. Speaker. I am surprised that my good friend Mutula Kilonzo, who I have respected for years, that today he was supposed to appear before PIC committee, and he writes a letter to say I'm not appearing because of the decision of COG. And I wonder, this is a lawyer, Mr. Speaker. COG is an amorphous body. Why are you making reference to COG and you know its legal standing, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, we are serving here as senators. Maybe in future we'll be governors. I pray God that I will not be that kind of a governor. I will be a governor who respects the Senate, Mr. Speaker. I'll be a governor who understands the constitutional role of Senate. You cannot change goalposts and say that since you are on the other side, you disregard the Senate. Some of the governors who are making noise, Mr. Speaker, want to be senators here, Mr. Speaker. How will they work as senators when they are ridiculing this house, Mr. Speaker? Governor Wajir wants to be a senator. Governor Tarakanidhi wants to be a senator. And many others who want to be senators, Mr. Speaker. How will they do their work if they come in, if they are elected as senators, and they find that they cannot do their oversight role because they are being told, when you are the governor, you did this, you are against Senate, so let us also be against you because you are Senate. Mr. Speaker, I want to urge members, and I want to encourage the House that this year's reports, let's spend quality time on reviewing those reports, debating them before the expiry of the 31st of March deadline, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I support the statement by our Speaker, and I want to thank the Speaker for his firmness. I want to thank the Speaker for refusing to be intimidated by anyone. And I also want to ask His Excellency the President, because I know these governors, they want to run around the President for protection, that Mr. President, hear us as senators, that some of those governors who move closer to you, look back at what they are doing in their counties. Look back to the audit reports that are before this House, and let them serve the people of their respective counties in a fair, transparent, and accountable manner. Mr. Speaker, I support.
Okay, very well, Senator Tabitha Keroche.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for also giving me this opportunity. And I support the statement read by our Speaker, and I really want to thank him for standing with this House. I know today is a very sad day for Kenya because we, the senators, are the hope of devolution. We are the custodian of the devolution, and these are people, the governors today have been shown they are threatening us and they want to gang us as they've done it to the MCAs. I know they've gagged the MCAs and they think they can do the same thing to the senators. Today is the day our Excellency, our governor, was also supposed to meet the committee of the Public Accounts Committee, but she gave some excuses that she will not be able to come today. And the Nakuru people were waiting for her. I know the Nakuru people are waiting for her because they have a lot of questions to ask. There have been a lot of misappropriation of our funds, and they were really waiting to see her there, being asked the questions that they've been asking, and how she's going to respond to the people of Nakuru. I know she's in China, and she's not on official duty. She's on her private matters. The letter that we were sent to appear to the Public Accounts Committee, we were given this letter more than a week ago. So if she was serious, she could have left whatever she was doing, wherever she was, and come and respond to the people of Nakuru. Because the minute these committees ask these questions, they are not asking them on their behalf, they are asking them on behalf of the people of those counties. There's a lot of queries and a lot of questions that these governors need to answer to the people. Today, if I talk to the governors, I know I've been in the forefront on doing the oversight of our county. I would ask those governors that appeared on the television demanding things that are not in the Constitution from in this House to resign. Mine is to ask them to resign because they don't deserve to be the governors in this country. If you look at the auditor report or control of budget report, you'll see the Nakuru is one of the counties that has not done any development to their people. The control of budget says in that auditor report, and I was really waiting for Her Excellency to come, says that 0.9% is the only money that has been put aside for development for the Nakuru people. That is about 90 million. And this is a county that has a 26 billion budget annually. In the same auditor, control of budget report, you'll see our county is operating on 311 accounts on commercial banks, which have not been approved by the control of budget. You'll see the own source revenue potential that has been given to us by the Commission of Revenue Allocation is about 10.9 billion. And when you look, when Her Excellency came to office, she found the previous regime collecting 3.9 billion. She dropped it to 1.6 billion. In that report, the last financial year, now she says she's collected only 700 million. A county that has a potential to collect own source revenue of 10.9 billion. We have 15 revenue streams. 2 streams only can collect over 3 billion. But today, Her Excellency says she collected only 700 million. That is what the Nakuru people wanted our governor to appear to the committee of Public Accounts Committee to answer those misappropriation of funds questions. But now, what our governors are trying to do is to try to gang us so that we don't talk, we don't speak, like the way they've done our MCAs, who are in the first line of oversight, and they refuse to do their job. So they think they are the control of this world or this country of ours. And when we push the revenue to go to our counties, they think now they should not be asked any question. That their work now is to move, as one of our senators have said, they go to Mombasa, sunbathing. Some are flying to America, as you all know, ours, that's what she normally does every time now and then. Even our county people, Nakuru county people, call her Aviator, a governor of Aviator. So that's, we cannot allow that. We will not allow. And I'm very happy with our speaker, that he has agreed to join, to support us, to ensure that this house is not intimidated, is not threatened by governors who have been put to those to those offices by the people that also put us to this house to ensure that we push for revenue to go to their counties and to ensure that we also do the oversight. So I'm very happy today, as one of the senators said, that I go home very happy knowing that we've agreed that we'll stand up for our people. Senators, you may not know, but we are the only hope now remaining to our people. Other people, our governors have let our people down. MCAs have let our people down. MPs have let our people down. It's only the senators who have stood with our people. And I know when the time comes, we will bring the scorecards. They will see the work that we've done for them. You can see now we've brought to the counties, we pushed for 25 million. Now we want to push it to half a trillion. And these governors have the audacity to tell us what to do and what not to do. They better do the work that they were given the people, and they let us do the work that we were given by our people. And we know very well we push for that money, and we ensure that we do the oversight for that money to ensure that the development is being done. My senators, let's keep on. Let's not allow these governors to thinking that the money they are given, that it belongs to them. The money they are given, when they see it in their account, they get to their head. They think they can push everybody in this town. We senators, let's stand firm and ensure that we work for our people, and we ensure that we push for that money to do development. If there is any department of, that has let this Kenya Kwanza government down, it is our governors. It is our governors. Because when the people, the public doesn't differentiate who puts the medicine in the hospitals and who does the roads, they think everything is the national government. They don't differentiate what is for the county and what is for the national government. And that's why you can see some of the areas, the government is suffering. And the opposition is taking advantage of that. They don't want to tell the people that the medicine that is supposed to be put in this hospital is your governor and is the one who has used this money. And I agree with Senator Usosi that even the president, when he comes on the ground, he should be looking who is he's working with who. He should be looking who is working with who. And the proper mirror to check on our governors is the Auditor General report and the Control of Budget report. When you see that you are working with a governor operating with 311 commercial accounts in a county, you know straight away it's corruption. And corruption is written on her back. So when you walk, in Kikuyu, I think there is a saying that says, if you walk with somebody who is a thief, you also be called like a thief. So I think when His Excellency, our President, comes to the ground to do his work, to launch his project, he should ensure he's not working with those governors because they are letting him down. And we know very well the President is working. But our governors are sleeping or have slept on their job. And you can see now they want to push the senators out of the job that they were given by the people. Your Excellency, our Speaker, Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you so much. We'll continue. And thank you for standing with this Senate, because if this Senate is shut by the same said governor, this country is thrown to the dogs, and we will not allow that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Very well.
Thank you.
Very well. Next is Senator Manzo Daniel.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when the reports come to us from Auditor General, we then invite a governor to appear before the Senate committee. When the invitation is not honored, Mr. Speaker, then the governor, and for no proper reason, then the governor is summoned. Upon summon, Mr. Speaker, then the governor, if he doesn't show up and does not honor summon, then under standing orders, that governor pays a fine of Kenya shillings 500,000 from his own coffers, not from the county monies. In the event the governor fails to pay that amount, then, Mr. Speaker, now that the committees and the Senate operates with mandate equivalent to one of High Court, then, Mr. Speaker, Article 244 of the Constitution kicks in, which is objects and functions of the National Police Service. And in 244B, it reads, prevent corruption and promote and practice transparency and accountability. So at that particular moment, even in the High Court situation, the courts use the police. And that's why I'm very happy that the IG appeared before Senate committee this morning and gave his commitment to adhere by Article 244 of the Constitution, and said when he is called upon to enforce arrest of a governor, he will do it with immediate effect. And not only when we give reports of corruption, when a governor commits a cognizable offense, the police should move suo moto without being moved by anybody, investigate that governor either through DCI or the police itself, and arrest that governor and charge them. In event of a conviction and to the highest level of appeal, then the governor has to vacate office. So there's no governor, Mr. Speaker, who is above the law. There's no governor who can purport that they are going on strike. In fact, Mr. Speaker, not every governor is bad. There are very many cooperative governors. Despite a challenge or two, Governor Anyang' Nyong'o comes to this house when he's summoned. And he comes very early. He arrives on time. He's very ready with his paperwork and his team. He answers all the questions. And I have never heard him be accused or complaining of having been asked for a bribe or extortion. In fact, most governors who have been senators have performed very well. But I'm surprised by my own governor, Mutula Kilonzo Jr., when I heard a letter this morning read that he is seeking to be excused for today in compliance with the COG's protest. And I want to tell him that the protest of COG, unfortunately, is unconstitutional and will be dealt with by the law. So I will advise him the next time he's summoned, he appears and abandons the corrupt governors to face the law as it is. And in fact, Mr. Speaker, I dare say we are personally going to make sure that the Constitution and the provisions of our standing order and any other law applicable to this situation is implemented. Mr. Speaker, now, for a governor who has been invited and they did not show up, I really want to ask the clerk to summon them. Once they do not honor the summon, then we will proceed to write to them to pay the fine by law. And if they don't pay the fine, because they will be in breach of the law, then we will officially write to IG Kaja, citing this governor for contempt of this house, and asking them to arrest and present them before us. And therefore, in fact, there is a pending request now of Governor Osaburu to be arrested and to be presented before the committee. There are quite a number of governors who appear. They are clueless of what they are doing. For every question they are asked, they turn into the executive, who also have something to hide. And a good example is cited of the governor for Mandera, who allegedly was hosting the president today. The governor of Mandera could not be able to explain to the committee the use of 65 million shillings where he purported to have done seedlings. Mr. Speaker, the climate conditions of Mandera are known. And Mr. Speaker, if there are seedlings of that nature which have been prepared or bought for farmers to be planted, whether for mango or whatever plant along the rivers, can be accountable. This committee should be able to go with this governor on site and show us where these seedlings are and count them one by one. And if they don't, then we hand him over to the police. And therefore, there's no one above the law. If you are willing to be extorted, or if you are willing to give a bribe, it means you have a problem. I have not known Governor Nyang' Nyong'o to give any bribes or to complain of any extortions. He does not bother about it. And he's not the only officer in government who presents perfect work. There are quite a number of officers in government who are very good with their job, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, we want the ones who have a problem to emulate the good ones. A lot of monies now are unexplained from the counties. A lot of monies are unexplained for those governors who have already joined the bandwagon and are using their monies to fund activities of political parties. They are also using these monies to fund presidential campaigns, 2 early presidential campaigns. This money is meant for the counties. And even the main government, we really push it to get the allocation. We really push them to send the money in time. Mr. Speaker, up to now, there are so many counties without roads. There are so many counties without water. There are so many counties which have dirty hospitals, where there are no incinerators to burn the effluent from the hospitals, which is very dangerous. Their hospitals are dirty. The materials used, the beddings used by patients are very dirty. In fact, such hospitals are even a death trap to people who go there. And a governor who does not even visit that hospital dare say that we should not visit counties. Mr. Speaker, today, the IG has offered to give us full security when we go to apprehend governors in their counties, when we visit, when we go to inspect, so that no senator will feel intimidated. And any governor who obstructs justice then should be charged with immediate effect with obstruction of justice, so that the governors can account for the monies given to them by the public. This is the work of Senate. As I conclude, because I know other members want to contribute, then the Senate is the last source of defense, is the last line of defense of this country. The governors have already intimidated quite a number of counties or colluded with them, and counties are not doing their job. So we really want county assemblies to be empowered, Senate to be empowered, so that devolution can work in this country. Mr. Speaker, I do thank you. Let me yield so that other members can contribute. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So, Honorable Senators, through consensus, we have agreed that because we have 5 senators left, then we can do 5 minutes each, so that at least all of you can be able to make a comment. Senator Chalagay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I agree, because in the interest of time and everybody to get, I'll just make 2 points. Mr. Speaker, as everybody has said, the work we do as Public Accounts Committee is anchored under Article 229 of the Constitution 2010, where we consider the OAG reports that are tabled before the House. Mr. Speaker, all of us in this House, or anybody who is a holder of public office, took an oath of office, Mr. Speaker, to protect and uphold this Constitution. We are exercising these powers deriving from the people and by the people, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to warn governors, because when I saw 39 of them who signed a communication, and I'm happy, Mr. Speaker, you have noted they have not sent you a letter having either of my name or the 4 senators that they have alleged they have been named, Mr. Speaker, is very unfortunate. And I hope, and I request, Mr. Speaker, if you grant audience to them on Thursday this next week, they must provide an qualified apology to me and my other 3 colleagues who are mentioned. We are victims of a vicious corruption that is fighting at, Mr. Speaker. I want to challenge Kenyans who have been following public accounts meeting, and you are in one of them, Mr. Speaker. The reason they are naming the 4 of us, myself included, is because we do not tolerate, Mr. Speaker. When the governor buys 3.6 million worth of Christmas tree, does he want us to clap and give him stand ovation? When a governor purchases 55 million worth of seedlings in Mandera, which is a dry area, does he want us to clap for him? When a governor does a housewarming party of a speaker in Vihiga County where there is no drugs in hospital, does he want us to clap for him? When the governor of Nandi Sang uses 41 million to do car hire purchases and car hire services for personal escapades, does he want me to clap for him? No, we will resist, Mr. Speaker. I was embarrassed that the chair of COG, Governor Ahmed Abdullahi, who read the communique from the Mr. Speaker. Can you believe in Wajir town today as we talk, there are people who have been hired to go and collect toilet waste every evening, and he has an audacity to lecture some of us? Can you believe in Wajir town there is no dumping site, Mr. Speaker? And he does lectures as a COG chair. Mr. Speaker, when I see him, look, for example, in Wajir, he was using 195 million shillings on travel for personal escapades in Dubai, South Africa, and America. Yet he puts only 100 million to relief services. Yet Wajir is affected by a drought. Mr. Speaker, he is using 194 million to purchase the purchase of the office furniture of the governor as per the OAG report. Yet he gives 100 million only to emergency services. Yet he has audacity of using close to 200 million to buy the seats. I don't know whether it has a massage those seats or what does that mean? Mr. Speaker, Wajir has a pending bill that grew to 5.5 billion Kenya shillings. 1.5 billion shillings is on statutory deductions. I want to appeal to the EACC to move with speed and prosecute and investigate the Wajir County government and the governor. 1.5 billion, for us who are lawyers in this house, know that when you deduct, you don't remit deductions, that is theft of 1.5 billion, Mr. Speaker. So it is embarrassing, Mr. Speaker, that these people are using the thief in now running away. Mr. Speaker, you have seen in town, when you catch a thief, when they see you, they say, no, this one is the other thief, Mr. Speaker. We want to warn them, Mr. Speaker, that accountability is not a privilege, is not a favor, it is a constitutional implication, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, there are 3 things I want to request of Kenyans. Do a citizen arrest of any governor who refuses to appear before the Senate. That is what the law provides. I want to appeal to my people of Nandi, whenever you support Governor Sang, do a public citizen arrest, bring him to the Senate. Even in Makueni, even in Meru, if he refuses, but at least he came, Mr. Speaker. Number 2, when we will be tabling a report, we need to declare some of these governors as unfit to all public office. Because I am going to read Article 2265, Mr. Speaker, in quick succession. If the holder of a public office, including a political office, directs or approves the use of public funds contrary to the law or instructions, the person is liable for any loss arising from the use and shall make good the loss, whether the person remains the holder of the office or not. So I want to warn governors, as they speak, as they yell, as they call themselves excellencies, Mr. Speaker, Article 226 Sub-Article 5 of the Constitution of Kenya is waiting for them, Mr. Speaker, and they should be punished, Mr. Speaker. Finally, for those governors who are seeking re-election, I want to appeal to the Kenyan voters, punish them by chasing them away to go to their homes and get people who can be held accountable. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I want to say I will not be intimidated, I will not be blackmailed. We shall soldier on, Mr. Speaker, a luta continua, and I yield back.
Thank you, Senator Chelagey. I think there is a system failure because after you did your 5 minutes, still you have them. Still the mic is on. So I think the timing. Senator Mohamed Faki.
Umemwongezea dakika 5 nyingine. Kwa sababu wani katika wale washtakiwa wane ambao Mheshimiwa Spika, kwanza nichukue fursa hii kukupongeza kwa taarifa yako ambayo imetetea bunge hili, Mheshimiwa Spika. Jambo la pili pia ningependa kuwapa kongele kamati hizi mbili zikiongozwa na Senator Kajwang na Senator Ososi kwa kazi nzuri ambayo wanafanya. Mheshimiwa Spika, nilihudumu katika kamati hii ya uhasibu mwaka 2017 mpaka 2019-20. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, kazi hii sio kazi rahisi kwa kusema ukweli. Na nimefurahi pia kwamba sasa wanafuatilia mambo yanayotendeka sasa. Wanakagua hisabu za sasa. Kwa mfano mwaka huu hivi sasa wanakagua hisabu za mwaka 2024-2025 ambao ni mwaka ulikwisha mwezi Juni mwaka jana. Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo ambalo ningependa tu kuwasisitizia ni kwamba wakati wanafanya hii kazi ni lazima wawe kwa Kiingereza tunaweza kusema steadfast. Hakuna kucheka na magavana ama kupigana pambaje, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa sababu wanapokuja pale wanakuja kujibu maswali ambayo yanahusiana na ubadilifu wa fedha za umma. Kwa hivyo upande mmoja wewe unawachunguza na upande mwingine unacheka nao kama ambao nyinyi ni marafiki na mlihudumu pamoja katika ubadilifu wa fedha hizo. Kwa Mheshimiwa Spika, kamati hizi lazima zionyeshe sura ya kazi wakati wanafanya huu hasibu, kwa sababu ndio njia pekee ya kuonesha wa Kenya kwamba wako serious katika kazi ambao wanaifanya. Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo la pili ni kuwa ni masikitiko kwamba ripoti zetu nyingi ambazo zimeweza kutolewa katika bunge hili hazijafanyiwa kazi. Taasisi za kupambana na ufisadi, taasisi ya ODPP, kiongozi wa mashtaka, Mheshimiwa Spika, zimekalia ripoti hizo. Na mbali na ripoti hizo, Mheshimiwa Spika, kila siku mara kwa mara wakati kamati hizi zinaangalia hizi kazi, wanatoa maagizo kwa EACC, wanatoa maagizo kwa ODPP kwamba swala hili lichunguzwe na hatua zichukuliwe kabla ya mambo kwenda mbali. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, inachukua muda kwa kamati hizi kwa taasisi hizi mbili kuendeleza uchunguzi na vile vile kuchukua hatua, hata kama kuna uwazi kwamba pesa zimeweza kubadilishwa, kupotea na kuweza kufanyika ubadilifu wa fedha na gavana wanaohusika. Mheshimiwa Spika, ni kinyume na maadili kwa magavana hawa kupitia kwa baraza lao kusema kwamba wao ndio waweze kuchagua kamati, wao wanaweza kuchagua wanakamati, na kesho pia watasema sisi tunataka tuchague prosecutor huyu ama tuchague jaji huyu kwa sababu tunaona kwamba huyu aliyeko hawezi kutufanyia haki. Mheshimiwa Spika, hiyo haiwezi kukubalika kwa sababu hakuna mtu ambaye anajihukumu mwenyewe. Lazima wenye kuhukumu na wenye kuchunguza wawe ni watu tofauti na yule mshtakiwa ambaye yuko mbele ya mahakama. Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo la mwisho ni kwamba komiti inafuatilia ripoti ambazo zimefanywa na maauditor. Na kabla ripoti kuletwa hapa, Mheshimiwa Spika, auditor huwa anampa nafasi gavana ama anampa nafasi ile county husika kutoa ripoti ya yale mambo ambayo yameonekana kwamba yamefanyika kinyume na sheria. Mwisho wa mwaka, Mheshimiwa Spika, tarehe 30 Juni, county hizi zina nafasi ya miezi 2 kutengeneza ripoti zao. Baada ya kutengeneza hizi ripoti, Mheshimiwa Spika, auditor anakuja anachunguza vile vitabu. Na baada ya kuchunguza anatoa ripoti yake, na ile ripoti inapelekwa kwa serikali ile ya kaunti na serikali ya kaunti ina siku 30 ya kujibu. Baada ya kujibu, Mheshimiwa Spika, ndio ripoti ya auditor inaletwa hapa kwa yale mambo ambayo yameweza kuchunguzwa na kuonekana kwamba hayafai. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, licha ya hivyo, kaunti hizi bado hutaka muda zaidi. Watakuja hapa waseme kwamba hii ripoti hatukutengeneza, hatukuweza kuijibu kwa sababu tulikuwa hatuna rekodi. Na visingizio vingi vingine ambavyo wanaweza kutumia kuweza kuchelewesha mchakato wote wa hii kazi ambayo inafanyika na kamati hizi. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, wakati wa kubembelezana umekwisha. Wengi hivi sasa wanakuja kulalamika waombe waweze kupewa muda. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, tukiangalia kwamba kamati inatakana itoe ripoti kufikia tarehe 31 Machi, na inaangalia hisabu za kaunti 47. Mheshimiwa Spika, hiyo ni kazi kubwa sana kufanyika kwa muda wa miezi miwili. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika,
umeyoyoma. Seneta Kinyua.
Asante sana Spika kunipa fursa hii. Kwanza kabisa nataka kushukuru Spika kwa taarifa nzuri ambayo ulisoma, na vile vile kushukuru uongozi wa jumba hili kwa msimamo wao dhabiti na kusimama kidete kutetea na kuheshimika kwa nyumba hii. Bwana Spika, kamati ya uhasibu inayoongozwa na Senator Kajwang pamoja na kamati hiyo nyingine ambayo inaongozwa na Osoti, nataka kuwapongeza kwa kazi nzuri waliofanya. Bwana Spika, ukisikia kuna hivi vizingizio ambavyo vinaletwa na hawa magavana kusema ya kwamba kuna maseneta waliowataja wanawaitisha hela. Bwana Spika, hakuna mtu yoyote anaweza kukuitisha hela. Nilimsikiza gavana wa kutoka Kisii akisema ya kwamba ati wewe atakapoitwa utasema wewe nilikupatia. Bwana Spika, ikiwa umefanya kazi ambayo unapaswa kuifanya, umefanya kwa makini bila shida yoyote, ni mambo gani haya unasema ya kuhusu hela? Maseneta hawa wamefanya kazi ambayo wanapaswa kufanya, na nataka kuwapongeza na waendelee na mtindo huo huo wa kuziangazia kaunti hizi. Bwana Spika, nikiangalia majina yaliyopeanwa ni maseneta ambao wanawauliza maswali magumu. Seneta Sifuna, Seneta Kajwang, Seneta Cherargei. Baada ya kuulizwa maswali magumu, hawezi wakajibu. Nilimsikiza Seneta Governor akiulizwa swali kuhusu mbegu, hakuweza kujibu vile ambavyo ametumia hela zaidi ya milioni 55. Lakini baada ya hapo sasa wameleta visingizio kusema seneti inafanya. Sisi tunafanya kazi hapa katika kamati zetu tukiongozwa na katiba, tukiongozwa na katibu za kudumu za seneti hii. Kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, mtu yoyote kusema kuhusu kamati hii ni kuonyesha ishara ya kwamba unajaribu kudhihaki seneti hii kwa kazi yake. Bwana Spika, tutalinda, tutatetea katiba ya nchi hii kwa jino na ukucha, kwa sababu hiyo ndio kazi yetu Bwana Spika. Na inapaswa ijulikane wazi Bwana Spika, sisi katika seneti hii hakuna mtu yoyote mwingine anapaswa kuja kutuambia, kwa sababu nimesikia wanasema ya kwamba ati kamati hiyo inapaswa wengine waondolewe, wabadilishwe. Mimi msimamo wangu Bwana Spika, kama ni kubadilishwa, wabadilishwe, na mwenyekiti akuwe ni Kajwang, naibu wake akuwe ni Mwaruma, na wale wanakamati warudishwe wao, kwa sababu wamefanya kazi ambayo inapaswa na wamefinya vizuri. Ndiposa magavana wamejikusanyika na kusema ya kwamba watakuja wakati hii kamati itabadilishwa. Lakini hiyo haitawezekana kwa sababu Spika, umesema vizuri sana katika taarifa yako ya kwamba hakuna mkutano wowote, na mkutano ambao umetaja mtakutana nao tarehe 26 utawezekana tu ikiwa wao watafuatilia kukuja katika vikao vya seneti na kuleta taarifa ambazo wanaulizwa kuleta Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, haiwezekani seneti hii ni nzuri tu wakati sisi tunapigana kufa kupona kuongeza pesa zinazoenda katika gatuzi zetu. Ni hivi juzi tu Bwana Spika, hata kwetu Laikipia tulikuwa hapa tunang'ang'ana ndio hela ziweze kuongezeka. Wewe ukaniunga mkono Spika na maseneta wengine, na hela zikaongezeka zinazoenda Laikipia kwa milioni 700. Zile pesa ambazo ziliongezwa kwa kaunti ambazo zilisemekana ni kaunti ndogo ama kaunti ambazo zilikuwa zinapata idadi kidogo ya hela. Bwana Spika, Lamu, Nyandarua na kaunti zile zingine ambazo ziliongezwa. Lakini wakiambiwa wawajibike kwa zile hela, wanaanza kuleta vijisababu. Bwana Spika, vijisababu, sijui hatuwezi kuja, sijui tunaitishwa hela, sijui tunatukanwa. Wewe magavana, nataka kuwaambia nyinyi magavana, mfuate sheria, kwa sababu katika katiba ya Kenya kipengee cha 125 kinasema ya kwamba seneti hii inapaswa kuita mtu yoyote, awe ni gavana awe nani, aweze kuulizwa maswali na kuleta kama ni ushahidi ambao unahitajika, nyinyi bila kupeana vijisababu. Bwana Spika, unajua baada yao
next is Senator Veronica Waheti Maina.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand in support of the communication that has been given by you, Mr. Speaker, giving direction to the statement that was given by the Council of Governors, led by the chair, who read out what I would call a very alarming statement. Alarming because Council of Governors has been entrusted with national revenue resources that are disbursed to the counties. In fact, I am surprised because most of the governors that we have are people who are very well educated, very well schooled, who have been given an opportunity to serve counties in this republic. And they very well know that the Senate serves to protect the interests of the counties in line with Article 96. I'm also very sure that governors know that Senate determines allocation of national revenue among counties. And this is very well provided in Article 217, and Senate exercises oversight of a national revenue that has been allocated to the counties. Honorable Speaker, what is shocking is, in the current financial year, a whopping sum of 415 billion has been disbursed to the counties or is in the course of being disbursed to the counties. And Speaker, the PAC committee, the Senate Public Accounts Committee, is mandated under Article 229 to carry out the work of oversight over how those resources are being spent within the counties. Let me therefore say, with this kind of resource disbursed to the counties, it was shocking, it was alarming that the only tackle the chair of Council of Governors could give to Senate and to the public of in the Republic of Kenya was to question and allude that there are some senators who are extorting them. I would not deny, neither would I admit. But I would have said, if they have legal personnel in those counties and within the Council of Governors, did they not bother to give more information to the public? Because corruption has riddled our country, and it is important for leadership to take responsibility for statement issued, especially at that level. If a governor has been extorted by senators, do they know the names of the people who extorted them? Do they know the names of the senators? If they do, did they give the money they were being extorted? How much did they pay? What was the source of the money they paid to the senators? Have they reported to EACC or to any other agency of extortion that is existing within that committee? It would also be sad to think that the committee would be extorting. But what I would say, is this the most responsible reaction to a problem if there exists one? I would say this: if the Council of Governors is very serious about the claim and the allegation of extortion, offer more evidence, report to the right desk, seek for support and help. And for the governors, have they paid that money? If they have, why don't you come out and say, I've given 2 million to A, 10 million to B, and this is my support on how I have done that. But to give a statement of that nature, I hope it will not end here, but there will be more accountability. Now, the recourse they have gone for, that they will boycott this committee, which is dispensing its constitutional mandate, is that the response that they should have had to the problem that they were experiencing, if at all? I believe this is a wrong approach. First of all, it is denigrating to the Senate. It shows lack of respect for our constitutional institution. This is Parliament. If governors think they can treat Senate like that, how would they like it if when they are brought impeachment proceedings here, senators decide they will issue a statement that anybody who comes before Senate accused of any offenses, gross misconduct or whatever it is they have done, abuse of office,
give one minute.
how would they like it if Senate decided to act against the Constitution and decided to say any governor who comes for impeachment before Senate will be found guilty without any trial? Would that be a proper recourse for Senate? I want to put it to the chair of Council of Governors, from wherever he's watching, because I know you watch Senate, that the statement he has given is equivalent to if Senate took law into their hands and decided every governor who comes here is already guilty before any explanations or before any form of a trial. So I want to say this. If you are summoned by PEC and you do not appear as a governor, you know what that means. Either you have no explanation or you do not want to account for public resources, and that already speaks into your conduct in how you most likely handled the resources. You don't have that option. There will be consequences from the Senate. So the best thing is if you are summoned, don't take the group mentality that you will not appear, because when it becomes an issue of being responsible to answer to those summons, you'll be held personally responsible for any summons that you do not.
Thank you. Next is Senator Kale Nyam. Okay. That's the end of the comments on the statement by the Speaker. So let's go to the next order, Clerk.
Order number 8, the Public Service Internship Bill, National Assembly Bills number 63 of 2022, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to make provision for internship of college and university graduates in the public sector, to provide for hands-on training and acquisition of skills by graduates and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 9, the Basic Education Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 59 of 2023, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Basic Education Act and for connected purposes.
Next order. Honorable Senators, from order number 10, order number 11, no, sorry, order number 11. I've looked at all these business. the motions and bills, and I can see none of the movers is around. So we'll come to the end of today's session. Canalize. Honorable Senators, there being no other business on the under paper, the Senate stands adjourned until Tuesday, 17th February 2026 at 2:30 p.m.